Good morning and welcome to Jefferson Unitarian Church. My name is Kylan and my pronouns are she, they. We are going to start this morning with some singing.
My name is Evie and my pronouns are she, her. Our first song is called Rich Man's House. Please rise and body your spirit as we sing this song.
Good morning. Welcome to Jefferson Unitarian Church.
Good morning. My name is Jack. My pronouns are he, him.
And good morning again. And I'm Reverend Wendy Williams, and my pronouns are she and her.
Today, our service is being led by our youth group.
So welcome. Welcome to our annual youth-led service. All of the elements of the service, all of the words that you'll hear today were either written by or chosen or created by our youth. So with that in mind, I want to say to you all what I hope you know, which is that with our high schoolers, we are always hopeful. We always want to create a container in which they can be real about what is real for them. That being said, the things that are said in this service may be a bit tender. So I give you a little bit of warning about that, because if this is a day that you are feeling tender, take care. Lean into the person that came with you. If you need to exit to breathe a little bit on your own, do that. Also, at the end of our service, our spiritual companion, Judy Dennison, will be up here if you need a little extra listening, a little extra care. Please take care of yourself.
All right, today we're going to be talking about one of our core values, which is equity. But first, some of our announcements. We strive to be accessible in this church. Some of what that means is that in our sanctuary, if you have difficulty hearing, you can try one of our assisted listening devices. We have reserved wheelchair spaces with space for companions. We also have a Braille hymnal. For those watching online, we offer closed captioning, and if you'd like more information or have any questions, please contact our church office during the week.
I want to say especially a note of welcome to those of you who might be visiting for a first or second time, whether in the room or watching via live stream. Welcome. We're very glad that you've chosen this day to be with us. It's an important day in our church. Please do us the favor of filling out a visitor form. If you're here, you can do that at the welcome desk just outside these doors. If you're online, you can click on the online visitor form. We just want to know a little bit about you, answer any questions you might have, and help you connect in ways that will be meaningful for you. A couple of other announcements. Today is the last day to donate to our auction. So we weren't all put on the planet knowing what a service auction is. But it is a chance to host a dinner or a party or donate something. It's a chance for those of us who are bidding to fill up our calendars with fun events featuring all of our wonderful members. So please do donate today. If you have questions about it, there are folks right out by the couch in the Commons to answer those. Additionally, today and next Sunday are the last Sundays for you to sign up for a small group discussion around issues of anti-racism and participate in our Mosaic curriculum. You will find information about that in the South Commons at our 8th principal table. And I'm just going to tell you, friends, we send out an email every week, the weekly connection. If you said, darn it, I just forgot to look at that this week, then here's another answer for you. We have an events card, a bookmark, if you will, if you read something like that, out on our events board. In the middle there is a stack of these. Feel free to take one home with you. Yes. So those, I think, are all of the announcements, miraculously, except I think there's one thing left. Yes, there is indeed. Whoops.
All right. Now I invite you to turn briefly and greet your neighbor.
Would you take a few breaths with me? In such a time as this, we need to take care of ourselves and each other. So much is on our hearts, so this is a time to breathe, to remember who you are and whose you are. You are stardust. You are loved and lovable no matter what you have been told or by whom. So rest and breathe, and if you need to roll your shoulders or put your hand on your heart, or put a little volume and intensity in your exhale, let yourself do that. This is the day we have been given.
To center ourselves for our time together, I offer the words from the Reverend Rebecca Edmiston Lang. Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and your strengths, your fears and anxiety, your loves and your hopes. For here it is, you need not pretend, nor be anyone other than who you are and who you were called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Together we make it a holy place.
And while Danae lights our chalice, please join us in singing our chalice lighting song.
In each of us there is a spark. Together we kindle one flame that burns bright and strong and lights our way, reminding us we are one.
I invite everyone to settle in and be fully present. We're going to practice a simple breathing exercise to help us all relax into this space and let go of any heaviness we might have experienced this week. We'll breathe in deeply for 4 counts, and then as we exhale, we'll hum quietly for 4 more. And we'll repeat this 2 more times. Okay, so we're gonna do it now. Okay, breathe in, hum out. Breathe in. Okay, last time. Breathe in. Thank you.
Welcome to Time for All Ages. My name is Dylan, and this is Jack. At this time, we invite our youngest community members to join us at the front of the sanctuary. For this week's Time for All Ages, we will be reading Milo's Museum. Milo visits the museum with her papa, but something doesn't feel right. Let's listen and find out. Milo's Museum by Zetta Elliott, illustrated by Purple Wong.
Today, Milo and her class were going to the museum, and Papa went along as a chaperone. When they reached the museum, Milo's teacher told the class that their tour guide was called a docent. A docent is a person who teaches us about what's inside the museum, Miss Lou explained. The docent was a white-haired woman named Anne. She led the children from room to room, stopping to tell them interesting things about certain sculptures and paintings.
Once the tour was over, Miss Lou gave the children some time to explore the museum on their own. Milo held her grandfather's hand as they wandered through the rooms together. She stopped in front of a giant mirror and looked at her reflection. Milo could see her classmates admiring the works of art. She liked most of the art too, but something didn't feel right.
Milo tugged at her grandfather's hand. "What are museums for, Papa?" "Well," he said, "museums hold all the objects that people feel valuable or important, things from long ago and from today. Museums are full of stories. Does that answer your question?" Milo nodded, but she felt funny inside.
When they got home, Milo sat on the front porch and watched her world go by. She waved at neighbors as they walked along the sidewalk and nodded her head to the beat when a car drove down the street blasting rap music. So many faces, sounds, and stories made up her world, but none of it was in the museum. Milo frowned.
"Feeling funky, Mama?" Milo jumped up and ran to give her Aunt Vashti a hug. They sat down on the porch steps, but Milo didn't say a word until her aunt nudged her and asked, "Why so glum, chum?" "We are in the museum," Milo said quietly. "I want to know why." Aunt Vashti took a deep breath and said, "Every museum has a curator, and the curator decides what goes inside the museum." "What about us?" Milo asked. "Why don't we get a say?"
"We vote with our feet," said Aunt Vashti. "We go to see exhibits that mean the most to us. Those magnificent mummies we saw last year were borrowed from another museum in Cairo." "I remember," said Milo, "but we shouldn't have to wait for a special exhibit to see ourselves in a museum." "You're right," said Aunt Vashti. She put her arm around Milo's shoulder. "So what are you going to do about it?" "Me?" Milo said with surprise. "What could I do?" "You could try writing a letter to the curator," Aunt Vashti suggested. "Or you could make your own museum," Aunt Vashti replied.
"Museums hold all the things that people feel valuable or important. Milo went upstairs to her bedroom and made a list. At dinner, Daddy asked, "Did you have fun at the museum today?" Milo nodded, but didn't say a word.
The next day, Milo took her suitcase out of the closet. She carefully packed her items inside and went out to the backyard. She pulled her suitcase along the grass and stopped at her playhouse. She took off her book bag and pulled out her journal. With a purple marker, she wrote, "Milo's Museum." She tore the sheet of paper out of her journal and taped it above her playhouse.
Milo asked everyone in her family to come outside. "Welcome to my museum," she told them with a proud smile. "I'm Milo, your docent. You're allowed to touch things in my museum," she said. "Just be careful."
Milo showed her parents objects in the museum. "This is a picture of you and Daddy slow dancing at last year's block party," she said to her mother. "This is a statue of Isis that I got at the other museum. She was a goddess in Egypt a long time ago."
Aunt Vashti came in to see the museum. "This is Balthazar, one of the 3 kings. My uncle sent this from Germany for Christmas," said Milo. Milo showed her Aunt Vashti her softball jersey hung up on the wall. Aunt Vashti gave Milo a big hug. "Your museum is wonderful," she said.
Several neighbors had come into the yard to see the museum. 2 of her classmates were already standing in line. "It's so cool that we have a museum right in our neighborhood," Mallory exclaimed. "I want to open my own museum too," said Hector. "Why don't you 2 add something to the collection? That way our museum is for the whole community." Milo took out her purple marker and made a new sign. The end.
So we chose this book because we understand how Milo feels. She didn't see things in the museum that represent her life and her. So she took action and made something that will represent anyone and everyone. We hope to inspire you all to take action when you see inequity in the world. Thank you.
And now it's time for us to sing our kids out to their faith exploration classes. As we sing, children are invited to go out under the rainbow banner. If you are in kindergarten through 5th grade, please meet your teachers at the back of the sanctuary.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Thank you, everyone, for singing our children out to their classes. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 1007, "There's a River Flowing in My Soul."
Flowing in my soul. Thank you, everyone, for singing the children out to their classes. Wait. So we actually already did that. Today, we will recite both of our shared covenant and both our shared covenant and the eighth principle because we believe these two things work together and lay the foundation for our work to build a more equitable world. Please join us in speaking our shared covenant.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, in truth and love, and to help one another. Am I supposed to read that? Oh, we, the members and friends of Jefferson Unitarian Church, come to affirm and promote journey
By working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community, by our actions that accountability dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions.
Is that all? I don't know. Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks, guys.
God. Okay, after that mess, now Aspen will bring up the bowl of stones representing the joys and sorrow of our church community.
Spirit of life and love, God of many names, and yet none at all. Our hearts are stretched thin. We see and hear the devaluing of people of color, of those with disabilities, of women, of immigrants. This list, as incomplete as it is exhausting. And yet we hold fast because we carry hope in our hearts. Hope that together we can dismantle systems of oppression. Hope that the collective of American humanity will look at one another and say, this has got to change. However thin our resilience may be wearing, we do not give up or give in. We look around and see our friends and neighbors carrying signs, moving and marching together, because we must not give up. We join thousands of people in the streets. We move for justice, we live for peace. We will not rest until we are heard. We will not rest until equity is made more real all around us. In Spirit of Life, we look within our hearts to the burning coal that is the center of our being, the place where our hope for the world resides, the place where our faith in humanity resides. And there we find the strength and courage to continue moving forward, however muddy and rough the path may be.
I used to think the Hunger Games was fiction, and a lot of it still is. But there are some components that are coming to our country, our world, and they're not equitable. For those of you unfamiliar with Hunger Games, a president and his followers living in the capital control the lives of the citizens in the district by violence and giving them less money and resources. It makes life hard for them while the capital citizens are living their best lives. Equity means giving people what they need to succeed, what they need to accomplish something, what they need that is specific to them, not to all people. That is what separates equity from equality. When I think about the Hunger Games, equity is not the first word that comes to mind. Quite the opposite. The people in the farther districts are given minimal food and resources and are hanging on by a thread, while the capital citizens are given abundance of food and resources and they have good lives. It's not equitable. Though the lack of equity in the Hunger Games is shown a little more publicly than in our world, the actions are similar, if not identical, and need to be changed. Equity is something that does not show up in our world as much as it should, much like in the Hunger Games, which is why I bring it up. The Hunger Games uses children to control people, to put fear into people, like in their annual Hunger Games. This is happening in our country today. Not the Hunger Games, but the control. Over 2,600 children being removed from their families and homes, not feeling comfortable going to school, not feeling safe to play outside with the fear of getting taken. What about 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos, 14-year-old Ariana VV, 7-year-old Mia Valentina Paz Fiara? How many more people are going to get removed from their homes? How many families will be destroyed? how many lives will be lost because equity is not present. Equity is something that is important for all people, and we can see that it does not always happen in our country. Some people are given minimal resources, while others abundances. I'm not saying everyone should get the same thing or live the same life. I'm saying that people deserve what is best for them individually and what will help them succeed. Whether succeeding means getting enough food or getting to live in a welcoming country without fear. Everyone should be given what they need, not having to live with the constant fear of control changing their lives for the worse. Thank you.
Now it is the time in our service where we pause to accept our offering. Today, wait. This is not the right part. Mike, this is not the right part.
This is not the right one, you're saying?
Okay. Today we would like to extend our thanks to our high school youth group facilitators for their support with this service and beyond. We also thank our coming of age facilitators and mentors who help guide our 8th graders on their spiritual journey.
Okay, my bad. Okay, Change is Gonna Come, sung by Sam Cooke. He wrote this song due to the racial discrimination and civil rights movement in 1964. You are all welcome to sing, and we are here to hold space and not properly sing.
Often, everywhere we look, we see separation. Children separated from mothers, brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends. Strangers is a word meant to keep us apart, someone different, someone I can never grasp or understand. The world fights to divide us into groups, into countries and borders. We have become so quick to judge, so easy to irritate. But that is not the future I imagine. To me, equity starts in a world not torn to pieces by people saying we are divided. Division is a scam. The idea that an evil force in the universe are destroying our planet is a fairy tale. I believe in a future not of robots, but of neighbors, where power is freely given by those who have too much and taken by those who have too little. I believe in a world without countries or politics. It isn't hard to do.
As a kid, you learn about what equality is. You learn that when everyone is equal, that's how it should be. Or at least that's what I was taught. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to be taught, but later in life, after years of believing that being equal was the best thing, equity was a very hard thing to grasp. As the world changed, I noticed more and more how truly unjust a lot of things were. This is extra true as of recently, as ICE takes innocent people, U.S. citizens, because in the eyes of those people, color is a threat to the country that promises freedom to all. When citizenship matters until you aren't white. It's unjust when people, including myself, live every day fearing their family getting taken. People live on the streets begging for anything a person needs to just keep themselves alive. The world is unjust because so many people are constantly at a disadvantage because of their age, race, gender, wealth, and they never truly get what they need. People lie awake at night wondering when, if, anything is going to change. Because everything inequitable has become so normal. It's kind of an overwhelming thing, isn't it? I think it is. It's hard to think about the scale of inequality each person faces in their lifetime, which is why I like to think about it this way. It starts with one person, and I know that sounds like every motivational quote ever. Only you can help change inequity. But it really does start with one person, that person being yourself. Equity is making sure everyone has what they need, and that first starts when someone takes the time to do something, to help somebody else, to advocate for themselves. It doesn't have to be a huge, grand-scale act. You just have to speak up. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you think, well, that's not how that should be, speak up about it, because that's when you start to create change. Equity can only come with action, and it will always be important to take that action, because as time goes on, as seasons change, and as thoughts keep swirling in your head with each new day, the thing that remains is the idea that something can always be done. Thank you.
It's me again. Okay. Equity, the topic we have talked about so positively, but how can we talk so openly about how strong equity is when ICE is tearing away families, taking privileges away from not only immigrants, but citizens of color? Children cannot go to school without having to worry about ICE taking their parents away, or worse. ICE has killed over 40 people these past months, 2 of which were U.S. citizens. People have come all over the world thinking that they can start a new life, have a family after getting away from wars, gangs, and problems in their ethnic countries. They come with hope, and that hope will quickly die when they are put in jail cell and treated like animals just because of their immigration status. While a lot of us aren't experiencing the fear or worry about this firsthand, we are still affected in many ways. Just a couple weeks ago, a white citizen, Renee Good, was murdered by ICE agents. They shot her for no reason. ICE agents wouldn't let anyone provide aid to Miss Good, resulting in her passing away. Renee Good was a mother of 3. Her children had to find out that their mother will never make it home. They will have to live their lives without their mom. This is a reality for many children. Coming home to the news that their parents are gone. They will have to go to bed without their parents tucking them in and giving them a goodnight kiss. They'll have to come back home and do their homework without any help. They have to grow up without their parents' guidance, and the parents can only hope that their children are safe. Before Trump became president, ICE only deported actual criminals and felons. While it was still a very controversial topic, ICE had more rules. They weren't allowed in schools, churches, or hospitals to protect immigrants and have less economic stress. Obama once said, and that's why we are going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security: felons, not families; criminals, not children; gang members, not a mother who's working to provide for her kids. We'll prioritize just like the law enforcement does every day. Many of their kids are American-born or spent most of their lives here, and their hopes, dreams, and patriotism are just like ours. Hearing that speech feels a little ironic, seeing how our government is doing the exact opposite of what Obama said. ICE is now detaining those mothers and fathers they swore that they would protect. We all need to use our rights and privileges to talk about what is happening in this world. To end my speech, I want to talk about Shannon Smith. Shannon Smith was a veteran who served in the Air Force for 20 years. He was a good friend of my father and my uncle TJ. On February 1st, he was in a standoff with SWAT after shooting at a police officer. After an 8-hour standoff, the police entered his home and found Smith with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He committed suicide due to the severe mental illness because he didn't get the help that he needed. A lot of veterans don't get the mental health treatment that they need. If you know any veterans, or if you are a veteran who is struggling with PTSD or mental illnesses, there are many resources to help veterans in need, such as the Wounded Warrior Project, which helps homeless veterans and gives them supplies, and a veteran crisis line, which is to talk and to help and give resources to veterans. Remember that you aren't alone, and we all have a soul that shines each day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vanny Alessandro. I am going to be reading a poem for you that I wrote called We the People. They watch us on screens, counting bodies, counting cages, like it's just another segment of their news.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 76 Hunger Games.
But this arena is built with barbed wire and desert sun, concrete floors that remember the names that you forget. They say safety, they say law, but all I hear is the president's voice, cold as the cells we sleep in.
I have a message for President Snow. You can torture us and bomb us and burn our districts to the ground, but do you see that? Fire is catching.
Except here, the fire is grief and it burns in Spanish in the names they try to erase. Jose Luis Martinez, detained January 16th, 2025, died February 2nd, 2025. Maria Fernanda Torres, detained March 3rd, 2025, died April 8th, 2025. Samuel Osai Mensah, detained May 11th, 2025, died June 2nd, 2025. Ana Luisa Herrera, detained July 19th, 2025, died August 7th, 2025. Liam Conejo Ramos. Names that taste like home and heartbreak. Names that ICE buries under paperwork and press release, and so many more I missed. Lives lost, stories uncounted. Shadows stretching across the timeline of this country.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union.
But this union is a cage, and justice is a word whose meaning changes at the border. Trump grins on stage, a Capitol audience roaring for blood.
No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
But due process dies in the desert, buried with the sand, with their shoes, drowned in the Rio Grande with their hope.
La ley es la ley.
He says, but law is just a word when power writes the rules.
La huala no es hogar.
And home is a memory stripped away at the border.
¿Por qué nos odian tanto?
We ask the question that echoes through chain-linked fences, through the halls of detention centers where children forget how to say mama without trembling. I am speaking for her, for the unspoken. My mother brushes my hair in a room that isn't ours, her hand shaking, her voice telling stories of freedom.
Real or not real?
We want to believe in rescue, but every knock is the end of a sentence. Every dawn is another list of the missing. ICE agents move like they intend to keep the peace, faces blank, armor cold, raptors circling the weak. But instead of mockingjays, we have silence.
a silence so loud it drowns out my prayers and smothers hope in its sleep.
All men are created equal.
But some men build walls and call it destiny. Some men lock up children and call it law. America builds walls, calls us illegal, makes us tribute for a game we never wanted to play. They televise our pain, debate our worth in sound bites, forgetting that every family torn apart is of rebellion waiting in the ashes. The Civil War is coming. The president smiles, white rose pinned to his chest.
Fear does not work as long as there is hope.
But hope is dangerous here. Hope gets you noticed, gets you caged, gets you gone. Still, I hold my hand at the level of my heart, trace the names of the lost on my skin.
Los recordamos, no los olvidamos.
I refuse to disappear quietly, a ghost in someone else's country. I will not become just another statistic, just another girl with no name. My breath is shallow, but I am still breathing. I am more than your border, more than your fear, and when I sing, it's not for you. It has never been you. You are the last, the beginning of a revolution. The rebellion is coming.
I know that you have appreciated this service, and I know that there is a limited and awkward amount of ways that we can express our appreciation, and we often do it in clapping. But I want to take a few moments before the end of our service, before we sing as we always do together, to say a few other things. I want you to appreciate these are high school kids. And nobody told them what to speak about. This is what they chose, everything they chose, right? So I offer that because I also want to say, invite us to think about all the times that we said, and admit it, just in the quietness of your own head, oh, kids nowadays, all they care about is their screens. They have it so easy. Well, these are the kids of the pandemic. These are the kids who were kept apart from each other, who were on the screen to go to school. These are our kids who've been through our ministries and our programming and came together, and we said, what would you like to tell our people? And this is what they had to tell all of us. So let's not just applaud, but let's bow to the work, to the love, and to the courage of these folks who offered this service today. So now if you want to applaud or shout out something about loving these kids, please do it with my encouragement. I tell them I don't mean to embarrass them, but I'm not sure they believe me. But I really do want you to feel the love and feel the appreciation of this congregation. I want to add my notes of thanks to our youth mentors, and also, not least, to the parents of these kids and to all of their teachers beforehand. Thank you all. So Gabe is going to introduce our final hymn. When that final hymn is over, we'll probably go right into the postlude. So please, let me tell you, go in peace. I love you. You've gotten a big charge today, so you've got a week for you to do it, for me to check in on you next week. So I love you.
Please join us in singing Blue Boat Home. This song is one of our JUC favorites. It reminds us that we are all in this together, that we find home in each other. All we kindred pilgrim souls, please rise in body or spirit.